Guten Tag, I am Max Weber. Welcome to Socio-Exploration. In this video, I'll guide you through the journey of my life and highlight the key contributions I made to the field of sociology. I was born on April 21, 1864, in the historic city of Erfurt, located in the Kingdom of Prussia, today a part of Germany. I am widely known as one of the founding fathers of classical sociology, standing alongside Karl Marx and Emil Durkheim. I am also known as the father of interpretive sociology, for I introduced the concept of Verstehen, a method of understanding the subjective meanings behind human actions. Furthermore, I am known for my analysis of power, authority, and bureaucracy. My theories on traditional, charismatic, and legal rational authority continue to shape how we understand institutions and leadership. Through my work, I explored how rationalization and modernization have transformed social life, particularly through the lens of culture, religion, and economics. Today, my ideas remain essential to understanding the structure and spirit of modern society. I grew up in a highly intellectual and politically engaged household. My father, a liberal politician, exposed me to the world of public affairs, while my mother's religious seriousness gave me a strong moral foundation. As a youth, I was intensely curious and widely read. By my teenage years, I was already immersed in the works of Goethe, Kant, and Schopenhauer. I pursued higher education in law, philosophy, economics, and history at the universities of Heidelberg, Berlin, and Göttingen. In 1889, I earned my doctorate in law and began my academic career. By 1894, I was appointed professor of economics at Freiburg and later at Heidelberg, where I became known for my deep, rigorous lectures. However, in 1897, following the sudden death of my father after a personal conflict, I suffered a mental and emotional collapse. For several years, I withdrew from academic life, struggling with depression and exhaustion. With the support of my wife, Marianne Weber, a feminist and intellectual in her own right, I slowly returned to writing. It was during this reflective period that my most enduring works began to emerge. In 1905, I published The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, where I argued that Calvinist values helped shape the mindset of modern capitalism. This work laid the foundation for what I called interpretive sociology, which focuses on understanding the meanings behind human action, Verstehen. In the years that followed, I developed my theory of social action and proposed 3 types of legitimate authority and analyzed how bureaucracy, while efficient, creates an iron cage of rational control, limiting individual freedom in modern society. My interests also extended to comparative religion. I explored how belief systems shaped civilizations, publishing studies on ancient Judaism, Hinduism in India, and Confucianism in China. These works showed how culture and religion influence economic and political development. I also made key contributions to methodology, arguing for value-neutral sociology, that researchers must separate personal values from scientific analysis. Near the end of my life in 1919, I delivered 2 major lectures, Politics as a Vocation and Science as a Vocation. Sadly, in 1920, I contracted pneumonia, worsened by the Spanish flu pandemic, and died on June 14 in Munich at the age of 56. Though much of my work was left unfinished, Marianne Weber ensured that my manuscripts, including my major theoretical text, Economy and Society, were published posthumously. This work remains a foundation of modern sociology, covering my ideas on authority, social stratification, religion, and law. First, interpretive sociology, Verstehen. I believe that society cannot be fully understood through statistics or external observation alone. To truly grasp social behavior, we must understand the subjective meanings individuals attach to their actions. This approach is called Verstehen, a German word meaning interpretive understanding. It means placing yourself in the shoes of others and interpreting why they act as they do, not just what they do. Social life is meaningful. As sociologists, we must interpret that meaning. This formed the foundation of interpretive sociology, my effort to humanize the study of society and elevate it beyond mere data into something more explanatory, The second is social action theory. From this idea of understanding human behavior came my theory of social action. I classified action into 4 ideal types, each based on the motivations behind human behavior. 1. Instrumental rational action, zweckrational, behavior driven by calculation toward achieving a specific goal, example, running a business for profit. 2. Value rational action, wertrational, action guided by ethical, religious, or cultural values, example, going on a hunger strike. 3. Affective action, emotional or impulsive behavior, example, crying at a funeral. 4. Traditional action, behavior based on habits or customs, example, celebrating holidays. This framework helps us analyze society not as mechanical reaction, but as meaningful action shaped by intention. The third one is the types of authority. I sought to understand why people obey power. Not all authority is the same, and not all power is legitimate. So I created 3 ideal types of authority. 1. Traditional authority, based on long-standing customs and hereditary power, example, kings, chiefs. 2. Charismatic authority, based on personal charm, heroism, or religious inspiration, example prophets, revolutionary leaders. 3. Legal rational authority, based on laws, rules, and procedures, example was modern governments and institutions. Modern societies rely mostly on legal rational authority, where bureaucracy and legality replace tradition and charisma. But while efficient, it lacks human warmth. The fourth is the bureaucracy and rationalization. I studied how modern institutions, especially governments and corporations, become bureaucratic, organized through a system of offices, rules, hierarchy, and specialization. Bureaucracy is highly effective and predictable, but also depersonalized and rigid. It reflects a broader process I called rationalization, where traditional and emotional ways of life are replaced by calculated rule-based systems. This creates what I called the iron cage of modernity, where people are trapped in systems designed for control and efficiency, but stripped of meaning and spontaneity. Rationalization touches every part of modern life, from law and science to education and the economy. The fifth one is the Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism. In one of my most influential works, I explored how Calvinist Protestantism, with its values of discipline, hard work, and worldly asceticism, unintentionally contributed to the rise of modern capitalism. Calvinists believed in predestination, that one's fate was already decided by God. But since no one knew their status, they searched for signs of salvation in worldly success. This led to this worldly asceticism, living modestly, working hard, and reinvesting earnings. I showed how religious values can shape economic behavior, challenging the materialist explanations offered by thinkers like Karl Marx. This wasn't to suggest that capitalism came only from religion, but that ideas have power, and culture can deeply shape economic institutions. While much of my life was devoted to teaching, thinking, and engaging with the public, it was through my writings that I shared my deepest insights into society. Each of these works reflects a different facet of my intellectual journey, from the relationship between religion and economics, to the structure of authority, the purpose of science, and the role of values in research. Let me briefly introduce the most significant of them. 1. The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, 1905. This is my best-known book. In it, I examined how certain Protestant values, especially Calvinism, helped create the disciplined, rational spirit necessary for capitalism to emerge. It was a cultural explanation for an economic system, showing that material life is shaped by ideas and ethics, not just economics. 2. Economy and Society, 1922, published posthumously. My most ambitious and comprehensive work, sadly, unfinished when I died. This book contains my full theories on social action, types of authority, bureaucracy, religion and economy, stratification and power. Thanks to the efforts of Marianne Weber and my colleagues, this book was compiled from my notes and lectures. It remains a cornerstone of modern sociology. 3. The Methodology of the Social Sciences, 1903-1917. Here, I argued that sociology must be value-neutral, wertfrei. That means we must separate facts from values. We can choose our topics based on what we care about, but when analyzing, we must strive for objective understanding, not moral judgment. 4. Ancient Judaism, the Religion of China, the Religion of India, 1915-1919. These comparative studies of world religions aim to show how different belief systems shape social and economic structures. In China, Confucianism emphasized harmony, but discouraged radical change. In India, the caste system shaped rigid social order. In Judaism, prophetic ethics influenced Western moral ideas. These works show how no religion is isolated. They all reflect and influence their broader social context. 5. Politics as a Vocation and Science as a Vocation, 1919. In Politics as a Vocation, I defined the state as the entity with a monopoly on the legitimate use of physical force. I warned that leaders must balance passion with responsibility. In Science as a Vocation, I explained that in a rational, disenchanted world, science cannot provide meaning, only clarity. The role of the scholar is not to preach but to analyze with honesty and discipline. I was no prophet. I was a man of questions, not revelations. But if my voice still echoes, let it remind you of this. We are not isolated beings. We are threads woven into the vast fabric of collective life. To truly understand ourselves, we must understand the society that shapes us. Do like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for further notifications. Danke und schönen Tag.